Everything first is created in consciousness, and we now know what consciousness is made of, how it creates. The reason why it's very important to learn the structure and the bylaws of creation is because now we're getting from the core of not only the metaphysical structure, but also the way things are created by mobilization, by the alchemy. And the alchemy, you can turn it in complete knowledge of the law. So literally that information came like maybe an hour before the show. So they talk about the control of governance because of the geopolitical situations that we're dealing with right now. And they wanted us to know from the quantum structure, from consciousness itself, God consciousness itself, that is all created in this soup of realities of creation of vibration. Everything is splits up, self-reflects by the splitting in a structure, and it creates another reality and another reality and another reality to infinite of probability timelines of realities. But that, no matter how much you see a chaotic situation, believe me, it's order through chaos, because everything has a specific positioning within the law of creation, and that's why they call it control of governments, talking about the consciousness and how consciousness based on realities, when you go down a pipeline, you actually have a different modalities how things are working. Everything first is created in consciousness, and we now know what consciousness is made of, how it creates, how it reprints itself for itself. If this is all consciousness, each one it splits up. It's its own reality. Each reality is another version of itself and another version of itself. That reality creates a multiple timelines of realities for itself. It splits up in 360 degrees, and each one is another universe and another singular structure from the collective to the singular. Remember, this is the beginning of the bylaw of consciousness itself and how it's reprinting and creating. But in order to do that, there's specific control of how things are moving, mobilizing, constructing, and deconstructing within consciousness itself. So the first thing it creates, for example, councils. Remember, I was telling you councils that oversee extraterrestrials. So you have the first thing is the mind. Consciousness itself has its own omnipotent, omnipresent, its own knowing, at the same time know the thoughts of the entire self. That means consciousness at the same time can hear each expression to infinity and can pinpoint each reality for each person, each expression, each universe, each singular structure. So it can zoom into you to infinite and can zoom out to infinite to the entire structure of the realities. So when consciousness creates now, it beginning to control the mind of the thought of consciousness itself. Basically, that fluidity, that fluctuation between the realities, that reprinting, vibrational sequence, and everything that is existing, everything is happening at the same time. So imagine the power, the potentness, the vibrational sequence, and the ability what consciousness itself, God consciousness itself, Christ consciousness itself can do.